Oh, happy Friday, guys. We made it. Ugh. Hi, buddy. Whoa. Whoa. Hi. Whoa. This is how Waylon greets me every day when I get home from work. And then he lays on top of me like that. But welcome, guys. Happy Friday. We made it through the week. It was a week, man. It was a week. Some highs and lows. But we're into the weekend. And it's going to be a fun weekend, I think. So, let me change. Let me put some different clothes on so we can go down to the farm. Maybe go for a run. Yeah. And hopefully go and lift as well. You care less about that. You want to go for a run. Yeah. I'll catch up with you guys after I change. All right. And we're off. It's gotten a little chilly. 35 degrees out right now. It is 4:40. And Waylon and I are going down to the farm. We're gonna feed. I'm gonna scope out what the road looks like. It's been warmer the past couple of days, so hopefully the road has cleared up a little bit for me to run on. Otherwise, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drive down the road so that Waylon can run around, and then I'll probably work out a little bit, maybe run down there, but if I don't run down there, I will ride the bike back home. It's the loose plan, it's a tentative plan, but we gotta feed the animals. Let me give you a rundown. Let me give you a rundown on what's up for the weekend. We are taking a blacksmith class on Sunday. It's sort of like an all-day event. It's this place like an hour away. I have no idea what we're gonna make. I heard knives. Knives would be cool. But yeah, wicked excited. The girls did this. They made bottle openers in the shape of an axe, like back in December, and they had a ton of fun. The guys were all jealous, and so they booked this then, and we were supposed to do it back in like January or February, I think, but it was like 4 degrees that morning, and their like igniters for the kiln were frozen, and it was just like the kiln wasn't going to get hot enough in time, and it was this whole thing. So we ended up rescheduling, and so that's happening now this Sunday. So that's the big event on the weekend. Tomorrow I would like to go to Jamie's gym and just like hang out, interact with everybody. You know, introduce myself some more, get people comfortable with me being there, talking with me, work with me, that sort of thing. As well as I want to reach out to the people from the injury clinic last weekend, because they have technically until Sunday to cash in on the discounted eval rate. So if I could get those guys scheduled for an evaluation, that would be sick. And tonight, well, you guys know what I'm doing right now. We're going to the farm. We're gonna feed. We're gonna run. Waylon's at least gonna run, guaranteed. And then I think it's gonna be a chill night home with Casey. I'm gonna do some work. I'm gonna work on the website. I want to get that going. The goal is actually for that to be live by the end of the weekend. That would be awesome, just so that it's one more point of contact for people to hear about me, find out about me, contact me, reach me. And another thing, actually, as I'm talking about this, that I want to do is I want to verify my Google business page, which it involves me filming the entryway to Jamie's gym and like where I'll be working, which is sort of weird. I get it to an extent, but I don't know. I'll see how that process goes. I thought that I could just like film clips, but they want like a continuous film and they want it like quasi live through their like verification page. I don't know, it's strange. Google doing Google things. So that's also a goal for going there tomorrow, is
unpaved road.
Is to get that done. But I'm pulling into the farm now. I will catch up with you guys once we get rolling. All right. Had some weird battery stuff with the GoPro. It kept shutting off and saying low power. Even though the battery's still in the orange. So I didn't catch the tail end of that run. Mucky, gross, mixture of like slushy, mushy snow, mud, and some ice. But it was able to do the whole thing without needing the yak tracks, or not yak tracks, I use Catulas, like the micro spikes. Good Saturday morning, everybody. Well, not quite that good. Little fiasco at the house. Last night, we heard this noise coming from like the main landing to the upstairs, and it sounded like water, which is never a good sign when you can't see water. So we ended up like going underneath the house where our like main like water tank is from the well, and sure enough, the main line coming off of that supplies the rest of the house had 2 leaks in it. That was just like pissing water. So that's not good. And I'm not a plumber. So there's like a quarter turn valve right there, and the 2 leaks were above and below. So I closed the valve and the top leak stopped because the water had drained from the remainder of what was in the lines to the rest of the house. But the one below that continued to leak, and that's because it's a pressurized system, and all the water from this massive tank was draining from that. So then I went out to the garage where the circuit breaker is and hit the power for a water pump, so that wouldn't continue to try to fill up and just create this perpetually leaking pipe until we ran our well dry. So we have no water. But then laying in bed last night, I was like, well, shoot, our baseboards are hydronic, I think is the term, where the furnace heats up the water and it runs it through the pipes. So I was like, well, if we don't have water and that got leaked out, that's not good for the furnace, and that could potentially cause some very costly damages. So also shut the heat off last night. So it's currently 58 degrees in the house. We have no water, and I am heading to Home Depot to take on my first substantial plumbing task. So I'm going to be dragging my ass back underneath the house to do some plumbing. So stay tuned. But that's, we're pivoting a bit on the original Saturday morning plan, but that's okay. Life as a homeowner. So I'm going to get changed, and I'll see you at Home Depot. All right, well, that was a wild adventure to Home Depot. Ended up nobody from the pro desk was able to help me directly, which is fine, but they got me somebody who could help. A guy who knew a little bit about plumbing. Tony, shout out to Tony from Home Depot. Thank you for your help. Got me hooked up with some supplies. These little like fittings called shark bites, which like bite onto the tubing, piping, and some cutters, and we're gonna give this thing a whirl. Not a ton of, well, no, I have some confidence in being able to do this, but we'll see how it goes. So I'm gonna head home. I got the dogs with me, Waylon, Ollie's in the back there, and I'll bring you guys along to under the house to help me fix this leak, and hopefully it gets going. Side note, can I just like turn the power back onto the water pump once this is all squared away? Like, is that gonna fuck with the line? I don't know. These are gonna be Google / ChatGPT / calling my dad questions. So stay tuned, guys. I'll see you back at the house. All right, guys. Tough angle there. Ooh. I got my bucket of supplies here, my PEX piping, and here we go. I learned this last night. You gotta crawl in backwards. Hopefully there's no monsters under here. There weren't last night. All right. So, good news is the water's gone. Bad news is the water's gone. Okay. So that's our water tank from the well. So the well fills or is pumped up through this pipe, goes into the tank here, and then from there it gets pumped out to the rest of the house. So we got a pinhole there, right? And we got another one there. So the plan is I'm gonna cut like here, okay? And I don't know, here, something like that. And attach these fittings, and I don't know. I'm gonna fucking wing this. We'll see how this goes. All right, we got the pipe cut. That's positive. That's a first step. All right, and now I've got the shark bite ball valve in place. I think I got enough on there. We'll find out. And so I gotta cut, I think, this piece and put a piece of PEX in there. But I'm looking at this, and this thing is just going to drain, unfortunately. So I think I'm going to, I don't know, all that water, I think is gonna drain out. And I think I'm about to get soaked. But I think I have to cut that, put a coupling piece there, put this here, and then a piece of PEX from here to here. And I think that should do it. But let me mentally prepare for getting absolutely fucking soaked. I'm actually gonna get into a better position. We're gonna do this over here. Yeah. And honestly, I'm just gonna send it all down that way. So, you guys ready for this? Yeah. Oh, that wasn't nearly as much as I thought was going to happen. Well, that's good. All right, let me cut this. All right. I think it's good. New coupling, old piping, new PEX, new valve, old pipe, elbow joint. Part of me wonders if I should have replaced this, but I don't know what the fuck to do there. I think this is all just mud. I think the next step is to hit, I think that's empty. I think the next step is to hit the water pump and check for leaks. I think. Let's try it. Welcome to our messy garage. I'm just Googling real quick if when I flip the power back to the water pump, are there any special considerations in mind?
Restarting a well system after it has been depressurized and repaired requires a bit more care than just flipping a switch. You want to avoid shocking the plumbing or sending a burst of air and sediment through your fixtures. Here are the key considerations for turning the system back on. 1. Close the drains first. Before flipping the power, ensure the orange drain valve at the base of the tank and any faucets you open to relieve pressure are closed. If you leave them open, the pump will struggle to build pressure, and you'll have a mess to clean up. 2. Monitor the repair immediately. Once you turn the power back on, stand by the new pipe section. The pump will kick on and start filling the Well-X Troll tank. Watch the pressure gauge, the small round dial near the bottom. It should steadily rise toward its cutoff point, usually 40 to 60 psi. Keep a close eye on your new fittings or solder joints as the pressure climbs.
Okay, so I should have probably shut the valve that I just replaced. But that's okay. I'm gonna flip this and run back out there and just hang out down there until the pressure goes up. So that's on. I don't know if I'm supposed to hear a noise. That's what I was afraid of. Okay. Well. Looks like I'm replacing that whole piece. All right, quick Home Depot run. Yeah, I went in with my headlamp on.
Second family. So
I think I got the right pieces. I got a straight coupling, a 3/4 inch shark bite coupling for the main line coming off the well tank. I'm gonna do PVC, a small PVC section from that to this. They call this a 45-degree elbow. That looks like fucking 90 degrees to me though. So I don't know what that's all about. But then I'm gonna do the PEX to this, and then this to PEX to that valve. So I might even have to take some off of the top pipe on the valve. I think it's gonna work. We're gonna find out. I might be coming back here, but I think I'm gonna be able to jerry-rig this thing enough in a competent manner and get this thing done. So let's head back to the house and we'll see if my idea works. I don't know. Stay tuned. All right, well, I'm back. Oop. There we go. Not one, but 2 additional trips to Home Depot to get more pieces, including fresh piping, because I can't get this piece off of this piece. So not only did I have to get a new one of these, but I got all of these new pieces. Look at all these toys. Just lovely spending all that money. So I'm gonna do my best to strap this all back together so we can get some fucking plumbing back. Know what I'm saying? All right, so far so good. That's the setup currently. A lot of jerry-rigging there. Right now, the tank is filling, pressure's building. Once that gets to a certain pressure, (40 to 60 psi is what I'm searching for. We're at just past 30. Once that hits about 40, I'm gonna release the main valve to the rest of the house and see how that holds up. If there's no leaks, then we were successful. But I think so far so good. I'm running out of light, but I just released the main valve to the rest of the house, and I don't see any leaks. I just saw a drip. Right there. I saw the tiniest drip. I'm gonna try to tighten that up a little bit, but the rest of this all looks like it's holding, which is what we wanted. I think I'm good. I think my job is done down here. I'll see you guys back up there. Good Sunday morning. I didn't get any content in the second half of the day yesterday after fixing the plumbing off of our well tank, which, update, still holding strong, water pressure's good. I think I did a good job. Heat's back on, back to living like comfortable, civilized humans. Today, right now, Waylon and I are heading down to the farm. We're gonna log a quick run, a little 2.5 miler. That's sort of our standard right now when we do get to run. Because we are going to a blacksmith workshop today. It's about an hour away. We're gonna leave around 9:15. I'm already behind schedule, shocker. I would have preferred to be out the door at like 7:30. But it is what it is. Daylight savings time happened. I was up at 6, which was normally 5. Came downstairs, banged out the big 3. And here we are on the road, going for a run. I think we're gonna leave around like 9:15. Might have already said that. The caffeine has not hit yet. It's kind of gross out. It's car's reading 36 degrees. It's sort of misty. Low-hanging cloud coverage. Raw feeling, if you will. But it's gonna hit like 60 degrees today. And I have no idea what time we're getting out of this thing and back home. So we're getting this done now so as not to have to worry about it later. Now, in a perfect world, we're home in a decent time today, and I'll go back down with Waylon and get a lift in. In a perfect world, I actually would have done all of that already, and I'd be sitting at home reading, having a coffee, and having a lovely breakfast. But so goes life. I'll see you guys out on the trail. Run done, shorter than I would have wanted, just over 2 miles instead of 2.5. The fog coming off of the snow and the ice was insane. You couldn't see anything. Waylon, however, could smell, hear, sense something, and he ran off. So there were a couple of stop, recall, with some persuasion from the electric collar at the beginning of the run, only to come and find out that a coyote was out there, and I think it's his coyote girlfriend, who was having a little meal of a deer. I got a video and some photos. For the sake of any squeamish folk out there, I won't post them in this video. But nature at its most raw, pure form, which was interesting to see. Again, very mucky out there, although a little bit better than it was yesterday. I think I just knew the footing a little bit better. But again, trend continues. I'm late, racing back home to shower, change, and then we are getting picked up by Carly and Dan, and then we're gonna go to this blacksmithing class, which I'm super fucking fired up for. And I will try to get some content of that while we're there. So, I will catch up with you guys in a bit.
We've already done it. The best we could do, normal torches, get anywhere between like 19 already. But the average 25 is actually they were
it black.
So like right here, I'd stop, I'd take a gander at it. I am a dead man. Just like that. Yes. Yes. That came out really nice.
Oh, that's cool, man.
There's like no part of that that feels normal.
You already put it in there. Remember, you can also put it in that one.
Jesus.
What you're going to want to do for this one, you're going to want to be right over here.
On top.
Yep. Just like that.
Push. What do you say? Quarter turn?
Yep. Keep pushing till you're about, keep going right there, and then reset.
Okay.
Nope, you want to,
Down more. Right
you
there.
might have to.
Maybe probably come out a little bit.
No, it's not
I'm
your
loose.
fault. It's because I thought you'd be able to grab on that one part right here, but
Okay.
it doesn't seem like it. Sometimes you
Grab
can.
it.
There
All
you
right,
go.
jump. Oh yeah. Good.
Wait, you mind putting it back in? That's okay.
I'm good there.
Ready? Perfect.
I'm going towards you.
Back it up. Take it off one second. All four sides. Right.
All right. Back from our blacksmith class to close out the weekend. We started with learning how to tamper or taper this little bit and ended up making these little J hooks for like hanging a pot or something like that. But the big project, the piece de resistance, these freaking knives. Look at this thing. These like cool little designs that we could make. Basically hooking this thing into a vise, depending on the pattern that you'd make, using a wrench and kind of making a corkscrew pattern. This one we like spun from here, and then he held this end and we spun in the opposite direction to make this sort of reverse spiral design. But this all started from a railroad spike, which is kind of cool. Stamped my initials in there. See if you guys can see that. BL. So that's it. We had a burst pipe, some mucky, muddy runs and learned how to blacksmith and make a knife. Good weekend. Thanks for tuning in, guys, and I will see you for next weekend's vlog. Peace.